Hello and welcome to my new Let's Play of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this game originally released for the Wii U in 2014, but this is the expanded port released for Switch in 2017. This version has a lot more content and features, so I figured this is the better version obviously. So because it's Mario Kart, I'm going to be starting off with Mario. We're going to go with the completely standard layout, but all kart bodies, tires, and gliders are unlocked. But yeah, we're going to be going through different part combinations as we go along, so we're going to go pretty standard for now. And we're starting off with the Mushroom Cup. So Mario Kart 8 is my favorite in the series just because it has the most content, and it has some of the best mechanics and overall balance. I will always have a soft spot for Mario Kart Double Dash, but I think this is the better game in my opinion. So we're starting out with our standard Mario Kart Stadium. Personally, I think the Mushroom Cup is actually really good in this game. It's not too basic, but it's a nice little warm-up. It's not too difficult. To my knowledge, nothing is too bad unless you're playing on the higher difficulties. So this is 150cc, so each game has a set of engine classes, usually 50cc, which is the slowest, 100cc, which is medium speed and difficulty, and 150, which is like the hard mode. Usually by completing all of those, you unlock mirror mode, which is flipped horizontally, so left is right, right is left. And this game, the original Mario Kart 8, introduces 200cc, which is like an extra hard mode. It's super fast, and it's basically the most strategic mode. You actually have to brake, which is kind of weird. In Mario Kart, normally, you rarely have to brake because you can drift. So the controls are A to accelerate, R or ZR to drift, like so, and L or ZL to use items. So another mechanic in this game introduced in the original, but kind of disappeared for a bit and then came back for Mario Kart 7, is coins. So as you collect coins, you gain a little bit of speed. Your coins max out at 10, and by collecting coins you can unlock more parts for your vehicles. Usually in sets of like, I think 10 coins at first, but it goes up as you unlock more parts to a maximum of 5,000. In the original, the actual cap is 10,000, but they lowered it for this version, which is actually pretty nice. Another difference between this version and the Wii U version is you can hold 2 items, like in Double Dash. Also why I like this version better, because I kind of grew up with Double Dash, and also Super Circuit, but that didn't have double items. So we have a blue shell. We actually got really lucky and didn't have a blue shell for our first race, so that was really convenient. And next up is Water Park. So one of the main gimmicks of Mario Kart 8 is gravity, so at certain points your kart will basically change, and you can basically go along like sides of walls that are magnetized or even ceilings. So it adds a little bit of visual diversity to tracks instead of just being kind of flat. Mario Kart 7 introduced gliding and underwater sections, which we will be seeing a bit in this level. So in this case, your car gets a little propeller and you can go along. So in the anti-gravity mode, you actually want to hit certain objects, such as in this case the submarine, which will give you a slight boost of speed, like that. Overall, it's a pretty straightforward track, so another thing in this game that I actually really like that is not in the original is drifting is slightly different. So in Mario Kart Wii, they actually got rid of the traditional drift mechanic. So in the old games, you used to have to like move the stick back and forth to charge up a drift, In this game, it's based on how long you hold a drift, and it's been like that since Mario Kart Wii. This game adds an extra level of drifting, so you'll notice blue sparks turn to orange sparks, but if you can hold it even longer, they turn into purple sparks that give you an even bigger boost of speed, which is actually pretty cool. Also, one thing I like in this version compared to the Wii U version is there's actually an exploit called fire hopping, where if you boost, you can basically hop left and right to actually gain speed, which they removed from this version. I personally was never good at it, so the online was kind of not fun because I usually would play against people who are really good at fire hopping. So for example, if I can demonstrate in a straightaway, so like I don't know if you had to have a mushroom or if you could do it while drifting, but basically like if you charge up a drift and then just kind of hop like this, you'd gain more speed, but they fixed that for this version. So all in all, this is a pretty straightforward course. But yeah, I think this game is also very visually appealing, being the first HD Mario Kart, and makes sense. Also, it's important to note that the Wii U version actually performs a little bit worse, which is another reason why I'm focusing on the Switch version. The Wii U version has a slight frame rate issue, so it actually runs closer to 59 frames per second instead of 60, with occasional duplicate frames. So there's a slight stutter periodically, and this version eliminates it. But on multiplayer, if you have 4 people playing split screen, the game will be 30 FPS anyway. So the only time you can actually play 60 FPS in multiplayer is either online or with only 2 people. 3 or more cap the frame rate to 30. But it's still a really pretty looking game, and this is a really unique track. Not one of my favorites because frankly this game has the most tracks I think of any Mario Kart since Super Circuit. But this is actually a really great way to start out, I think. So you'll see occasional patches like that patch right there that we have to drift around. If you have a mushroom item, you can actually boost through that. Another major shortcut in this track is through that donut to the left. But we don't have a mushroom. We've actually been consistently in first place, so this is actually going really smoothly. If we were playing on 200cc, I'd be crashing into walls constantly, getting hit by blue shells constantly. And we are going to get a fair share of blue shells, probably. I see one on the map right now. Speaking of the map, I guess another major difference with the Wii U version is we don't have a mini-map. So because the Wii U gamepad has its own screen, you could have a mini-map on that screen at all times, and it would even list all of the player positions with whatever items they're holding. It was kind of a neat feature, but I never used it because I tended to not look down that much because I was focusing on the race. So it was kind of a neat idea, but just the amount of times you'd have to look down to see if an enemy has an item, it just wasn't that feasible. I'm not sure why I said enemy, as if this is like a much more serious game than just a kart racer. But yeah, I really also think the music is pretty good. Honestly, I still recommend this game. It's like 2 years old, almost 3 years old by now, but I still think it holds up really well, actually. My only real issue is I wish they had supported it beyond the initial DLC that was from the Wii U version that they added in by default to the Switch version. Other than that, they added a couple cosmetic items and Nintendo Labo support, but they didn't really support the game beyond that. And I think there's so much more potential to have more content, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate treatment, kind of, where like you just continually add on to it to make it the definitive Mario Kart. Alright, so here's our last race of the Mushroom Cup Thwomp Ruins. This one has a lot of shortcuts that unfortunately we probably won't be seeing because I've been consistently in first place this entire time. I'll be honest, I recently tried playing online again. I think I'm a little spoiled because I am not having any difficulty. In an online tournament recently, I was doing really poorly, like getting 3rd place at best. I won like twice, I think. And other than that is 3rd or below. Which I guess is another difference actually in this version. In Mario Kart 8 in general, the number of players is bumped up from 8 to 12, so you have more racers. I think Mario Kart Wii also did that, now that I think about it, but I want to say 7 put it back down to 8 because handheld. I will be honest, I have never played Mario Kart 8, it just did not appeal to me. I'm a little bit weird when it comes to multiplayer games. I actually really like this game and other multiplayer games, but I tend to not play them online very much just because it's a little bit frustrating. But like CPUs tend to be really easy, so I tend to have a little bit of trouble finding a middle ground with competitive games like this. But like Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, there's like very little multiplayer potential with that one being a handheld game, so I just kind of skipped it. Also because I think I was kind of burnt out because of Mario Kart like Wii and DS at the time, which were actually really good, by the way. Mario Kart Wii has serious balancing issues, but it's actually pretty fun beyond that. And DS has a mission mode that's really fun. They give you different little objectives and challenges that are really neat, and I wish they'd explored that concept further. Also, something I have neglected to show off this entire time is you can drive on the walls. On lap 2, for the people in last place, and also for just in general on lap 3, that ramp opens up. Typically, if you're in first place, you actually won't see it open up on lap 2, but if you're towards the back of the pack, it will open up to kind of give you a bit of a boost. But that's about it for the Mushroom Cup, actually. This was really smooth sailing. Of course, it'll only get harder from here, but that is a perfect run. So your maximum point total is 60 points if you win every race, and if you win every race, you get 3 stars on a cup. So I've 3-starred every cup in the game. It's not fun doing 200cc 3-star, but this wasn't too bad. This was actually really easy. It shows a nice little highlight reel too, which is fun. And there you have it, first in every race. Hopefully we can keep this up, but I'm not entirely convinced we will. And there you have it, our first trophy. So on the Wii U version, I think you could actually use the touchscreen to move the trophy around. You can kind of move it a little bit with the control stick. But yeah, next time on Mario Kart 8, we are going to be taking on the Flower Cup. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Mario Kart 8.